Welcome to Immigration Quicktake. This is Jessica Eyes with the American Immigration Lawyers Association. The House continues to address immigration reform despite the looming August recess in only a week and a half. And here to update us on what's been happening is AILA Advocacy Director Chen. Greg, was there anything of note that arose during the hearing yesterday on border security approaches between the House and Senate?
So yesterday, the House Homeland Security Subcommittee held a hearing comparing the House bill on the border as well as the overall Senate immigration reform bill. AILA issued a statement in advance of the hearing that basically made 2 points. One, that border security cannot be achieved simply by throwing money at the border. It can't be something that's solely input driven, but has to be based on real performance-based metrics to look at the output and outcomes. The second point we made is that border security done as a bill solely on its own, in isolation of immigration reform done broadly, is not going to achieve either improved security or any real improvements to immigration and the system. I mention these 2 points because, in fact, there was widespread agreement on the panel, and it was just interesting to hear former CBP Commissioner Ahern saying, look, we can't be doubling the Border Patrol. We can't be adding all sorts of fencing until we know what the numbers are really going to say and need.
Did anything come out of the hearing on the KIDS Act?
At the same time that the border security hearing was going on, there was also a hearing going on in the House Immigration Subcommittee of the Judiciary Committee, chaired by Trey Gowdy. And this was focused on the issue of young people who have come here at an early age, otherwise known as dreamers. And it is widely known that Representatives Cantor and Goodlatte are working on something they're calling the KIDS Act that is likely to be a version of DREAM. The bill is not yet out, so the hearing did not focus on the bill itself, but focus on the issue of these young people. And there were 2 striking points about the hearing. The first one is we had widespread agreement again on this committee as well about the importance of protecting young people and making sure that these people who have come here at an early age and who are by all measure Americans except for their legal status, that they should be able to stay here. The big question, of course, in the room is, what do you do with people who may not fall into the DREAM category? Their parents, their siblings, others who should be eligible for legalization. AILA, of course, our view is that it's important that everybody be included in a legalization package and that such a package be broad and inclusive. The second major highlight of the hearing emphasized this point, and that was the testimony of 2 young women who came on the second panel. Both of them talked about what it's like to be a dreamer or a young person living in this country, and highlighted the fact that one of them has a sister who is here who is undocumented. She herself is a U.S. citizen, and her sister is not. And just by a mere fact of where they were born, one of them does not have legal status. And her point is, we are the same. We are both what makes America, and we are both America's dream.
What do you think might be next for the House? Is there any chance for floor action on one or more of the bills before the recess? What can AILA members do during the August recess to make a difference?
So we still have a week and a half left before Congress recesses for August, which will be a long period of congressional recess. It is extremely unlikely that the House will take up any bill on the floor in the next 6 or 7 days remaining before the recess. The upcoming 6 or 7 weeks are going to be a critical time, especially as members of Congress go back to their districts and meet with their constituents. This is a time when everybody should be talking to their members of Congress, making phone calls, sending emails, and just explaining why immigration reform is so important and why it's important for Congress to act now to get the job done. When they return in September, it's most likely that we'll see the House act on some kind of reform measure, some kind of bill on the House floor, either in late September or early October. As AILA members, we ask you now to make those calls, to set up in-district meetings with your members of Congress, and to take as many steps as you can to tell your members that immigration reform is really something that has to be done now and this year.
Thank you, Greg, for joining us. For the rest of you, please stay tuned for more updates through Immigration Quicktake with the American Immigration Lawyers Association.